Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is The Flash, Season 1. Meet Barry Allen, the brilliant, mild-mannered CSI tech. When he was a kid, his mom was murdered by these mysterious flashes of light, and because that's crazy, of course, his dad went away for it. So all these years, he's secretly been working to solve his mom's murder and prove his dad's innocence. Star Labs is celebrating the launch of their new particle accelerator created by the genius Harrison Wells. But something goes wrong, it explodes, and that night Barry's struck by lightning. And that was no normal lightning bolt, because Barry now has, boom! Yeah, he's got super speed. He works with the Star Labs team to figure out his powers. There's Cisco Ramon, the funny guy, genius mechanical engineer, Dr. Caitlin Snow, super nice biochem, and of course the man, Harrison Wells himself, who's in a wheelchair now. He was paralyzed the night of the explosion. So with their help, Barry figures out his powers and he becomes the Flash, the fastest man alive. But Barry's not the only one who got powers that night. There's a whole rogues gallery of one-off villains who have powers depending on where they were when the wave hit. They call these people metahumans, and Cisco's got a funny supervillain name for every one.
To be able to control the weather like that indoors?
You'd have to be a weather wizard.
So with his science team in his earpiece, Barry figures out ways to use his speed to take down all sorts of metahuman threats. Hilariously, no matter the situation, the solution is always run faster. A normal prison can't hold these metahumans, so they keep them locked up in the pipeline under Star Labs. Besides this being a gross violation of their constitutional rights, it also raises practical questions like who's feeding them and where do they poop? Now, Barry has a crush on Iris West, daughter of Detective Joe West, who took Barry in after his mom's murder. So basically, Barry has a crush on his stepsister. No, that's not weird. She has a boyfriend right now anyway, this hot cop Eddie, but she wants to be a journalist and she's real interested in this new superhero they're calling the Streak. So she starts up her own blog and gives him the much better name, The Flash. Whenever he talks to her, he does a silly blurry face to hide his identity, which is kind of pointless because Barry's really bad at hiding his identity. So many people find out. And by the end of this season, Iris is finally in on it too. Among the infinite one-off metahuman threats is Barry's first nemesis, the non-metahuman genius criminal Leonard Snart. When he steals a freeze ray that Cisco made, he becomes Captain Cold. And yes, the cold gun slows the Flash down. Pretty soon he gets his friend McRory a fire gun, obviously. He also has a sister who gets a golden gun, and this show is hilariously campy.
Give me another one. Ice cold.
Another recurring villain is the giant genius gorilla Grodd. He shows up once per season. Another big plot this season is Caitlin Snow's fiancé Robbie, who died the night of the particle accelerator explosion. But another scientist who was there, Dr. Martin Stein, was holding a science thing and Robbie's essence got blown into him. They combined into one person with fire powers called Firestorm. Long story short, they're able to separate them, so Caitlin's reunited with her love. But it's only temporary. They have to refuse and go off to do Firestorm stuff. But now the main villain of season 1 is another speedster. He's all in yellow and introduces himself as the Reverse Flash. Now that Barry knows what a speedster is, it's super obvious that this is the guy who killed his mom. Barry can't defeat him though. The Reverse Flash is much faster. As it turns out, Harrison Wells has a secret. He is not actually paralyzed, he's been faking. And in his super secret sci-fi man cave, he's got a newspaper clipping from the future. And we find out almost immediately he is the Reverse Flash. One day Cisco stumbles upon his secret, and this is heart-wrenching because Dr. Wells was Cisco's best friend and mentor. But turns out this guy's not Harrison Wells at all. His name is Eobard Thawne. He is the Reverse Flash, the Flash's arch nemesis from the future. He and the Flash traveled back through time during one of their standard speedster fights. It was that night he killed Barry's mom, but when he went to leave, his powers had been drained. He got trapped back in our time. The real Harrison Wells was a good guy, but Eobard Thawne with some future tech, stole his identity. Using tachyons, he's able to restore his speed, but only for quick bursts. So to get home, he needed to cause the particle accelerator explosion that created the Flash, then train him in how to go faster so he could go fast enough to open a time portal and he could get home. I'm sorry, Cisco, I really do like you. You're like a son to me, but I'm an evil sociopath. Vibrating hand and speedster through the heart. Elsewhere that same day, Barry tells Iris how he feels about her and these two have their passionate kiss. But the metahuman threat of the week is sending a tidal wave at Central City, and to stop it, Barry's, you guessed it, gotta run fast. In fact, he runs so fast, it's the first time he, travels through time. Yes, there's a lot of time travel shenanigans on this show. We're just getting started. So with his knowledge of the future, Barry catches the weather wizard immediately, changing the course of the day. Cisco never finds out Wells' secret. And this time when Barry confesses his love for Iris, the whole situation's different. She's like, ew, you're like my brother and I'm dating someone. Not cool, Barry. Soon though, even in this new timeline, they start to suspect Harrison Wells and the gang stumbles across his secret science man cave. From the newspaper headline, Barry learns that in a few years, he will die in the crisis. More on that later. Also, the article was written by Iris West Allen. Hey, he and Iris do get together. So now Eobard Thawne knows they're onto him, so he kidnaps Iris's boyfriend Eddie. What does he want with Eddie? Turns out Eddie's last name is Thawne. Yeah, he is Eobard's great-great-grandfather. So to stop the Reverse Flash, Barry gets help from an old friend, and it is Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, founder of the CW Arrowverse. He gives Barry some real helpful training like, yeah kid, you're fast, but you gotta be aware of your surroundings. A sneak attack can still take down a speedster. And so it's a crossover episode where the Green Arrow uses sneak attack to take down Reverse Flash. So Thawne tells Barry the whole backstory he told Cisco in the day that never happened, and it's like, yo kid, if you open a time portal for me, I'll go back to my own time, be out of your hair. And more than that, you can use it to go back to the night your mom was killed and save her. So Barry agrees, and Thawne teaches him how to open a time portal, which is basically run real fast. If you run fast enough, wham, you enter the Speed Force. More on that later. So poof, Barry's traveled back to his childhood home the night his mom was killed. His future self is there fighting the Reverse Flash, but he sees our Barry and is like, no, don't do it. So he carries Kid Barry away, and Thawne goes to stab his mom, but Barry trusts his future self and lets it happen. At least this time he gets to say goodbye. It's a tearful moment. But back in the present, the time portal's open, and Thawne's gonna use his time machine to go through it. But now Barry's back, boom, breaks the time machine. He figures since I didn't get to save my mom, our deal's off. And it's time for the final speedster fight. Phew, phew. The Reverse Flash is about to win when, a shot rings out, but wait, who was hit? It was Eddie who shot himself. No, Eddie, yes, made the ultimate sacrifice as Thawne's descendant. When he's dead, he fades out of existence. But now, for science reasons, the time portal destabilizes and turns into a black hole that threatens to suck up the whole Earth. For more science reasons, Barry can close it, but to do that, he's gonna have to, you guessed it, run really fast. And that's how season 1 of The Flash comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies. And if you loved this recap, check out the join button and support the channel as a member.